Hello scholars, I hope you all are doing well. Chalo, let's study together while continuing our fourth chapter. Today we will see estimating the quotient. Okay, I hope you remember the word estimate, which also means approximately, and you have a particular symbol for that. Yes, estimation is the answer which is not exact, but it is near to the exact answer. Fine. So, we will go with the first example from division because we have to estimate the quotient. Okay. So, the question is 3236 should be divided by 28. Fine. Now, we have the divisor and the dividend. And the divisor is a 2-digit number. So, I have to round it off to the nearest 10. And as I round the divisor to the nearest 10, I have to round the dividend also to the nearest 10. Yes? So, we will do likewise. So, rounding off to the nearest 10, we have the dividend, that is 3236 rounded up to 40. And the divisor, which is 28, is rounded up to 30. Fine. So, my question now changes to the approximate value, that is 3240 divided by 30. Approximately sign I have written here. Okay. Now, I have to perform the division. Fine. And for that, I will write the dividend inside and the divisor outside. Now, to do the division, I should know the table of 30 here. Students, you remember in the previous video, I told you the tricks for making the table of 2-digit number? Yes, that same trick you will use here. Okay, but here I am taking the table directly. Fine. So, we have the table of 30 here. Okay, now starting with the division, I will consider the first number, that is 3. So, 3 is smaller than 30. So, 30 zeros are 0. So, 3 minus 0 will give me 3. And 2 will be carried down. Now, I have 32. So, how many times 30 goes into 32? It will go obviously one time. Yes. So, 30 ones are 30. 32 minus 30 will give me 2. And this 4 will be carried down. Fine. Now I have 24 here and I have to divide it by 30. But 24 is less than 30. So 30 zeros are 0. And 24 minus 0 will give me 24. And the 0 in the dividend will be carried down. So I have the number 240. Now I have to see how many times 30 goes in 240. Okay. So let's check out in the table 30, 120 and I have 240 here. Yes. So 30 8s are 240. So 30 when multiplied 8 times I get 240. And 240 minus 240 will give me 0. So my quotient here will be 108. You need not consider this initial 0. Pehle wala 0 has no value. Okay. So, my approximate answer is 108. Okay with it? Now, considering the next example, which I have taken from your exercise 4.2, that is first D. Okay. And the question is 4981 divided by 62. Now, I will round it off to the nearest 10 as divisor is 2-digit. Fine. So, rounding off to the nearest 10, we have the dividend first, that is 4981 rounded down to the nearest 10, that is 80. And 62 rounded down to the nearest 10, that is 60. Okay. So, now my question turns to be 4980 divided by 60. And this is the approximate or the estimated question. Fine. And I have to perform the division now. Okay, so I'll have the 60 ka table and start with the division. Now 4 is less than 60, so 60 zeros are 0 and 4 minus 0 is 4. 9 will be carried down. 49 So how many times 60 goes in 49? It will go 0 time obviously. So zeros are 0 and 49 minus 0 is 49. Now the 8 will be brought down. So I have 498. Now I have to see in the table of 60 wherein I get the number 498 or the number which is less than 498. Okay, so let's check out 60, 180, 300 and 480. 480 is there and 540 is there. So I have to take the lesser number, that is 480. And when 60 is multiplied 8 times, I get 480. So 68 time is 480. Fine. So 498 minus 480, that is 8 minus 0 is 8 and 9 minus 8 is 1. And this 0 I have to bring it down. So I have 180. Okay. Now how many times 60 goes in 180? Let's check out 1 and 3. Yes. 60 3s are 180. So 60 3s are and 180. And 180 minus 180 is 0. Fine. So here I get my question, that is 83. And this is my estimated question, not the exact one. Fine. So here we finish the second sum also. Now moving on to the word problems in estimation. Students, I want you to remember that in multiplication, when we did the sum, I told you one rule. Do you remember that? What is that? See, in multiplication, you have been given the information of one unit and then you have to find the information of many units. Multiplication karna hai na? So you add and that's how you multiply to find out the answer for many units. Okay. And in division, you have to do in the reverse order. You have to find out the units of each group, I can say. Okay. Division is splitting into equal parts. So likewise, we will see how we will find the answer. Okay. Let's see. Exercise 4.2 and 2a. There are 19 students in the class. And a teacher has 122 pencils and distributes them to the class. Now, 122 pencil is to be distributed among 19 students in such a way that each students get equal number of pencil. Fine. So you have to find the number of pencil for each students, and that's how you come to know that this sum is from the division. Okay. And it is written that estimate. So estimate होता है तो क्या होता है? Approximately होता है. Yes. So we will start with the sum, that is the solution. You have number of students here which is 19 and the number of pencil are 122. Fine. And the number of the pencil for each students will be 122 should be divided among 19 students. Okay. Now we have to estimate obviously. So we will round it off to the nearest 100. Yes? I am correct, student? Rounding off to the nearest 100? No. You have to round it off to the nearest 10. Why? Because the divisor is a 2-digit number. So how can you round it off to the nearest 100? Okay. So rounding off to the nearest 10, we have 120 divided by 20. Okay. Now we will perform the division. And we have 20 ka table here. So starting with the first digit, that is 1. 1 is smaller than 20. So 20, 0 times will give me 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. And 2 will be carried down. So 12. Fine. Now 12 is also less than 20. Okay. Now 20 zeros are 0. So 12 minus 0 will give me 12. And this 0 is carried down. So I have 120. Now 120 is bigger. So I will find in the table of 20. So I have 26 are 120. So 20 when multiplied is 6 times, I get 120. So 120 minus 120 is 0. Fine. So I have the answer as 6. The initial 0 has no value. Okay. So my estimated answer is 6. So Andaz say the teacher will distribute 6 pencils to each students. And here we go with the answer statement. That is, each student will receive approximately 6 pencils. Okay with it? Students, as you have completed the exercise number 4.3 and 4.4, in this video I have explained you the concept of division with 2-digit divisor. Fine. So you have to complete the exercise 4.1 and 4.2.